So the top 5 important things in a marriage. This is not an unusual question. It's not an unusual topic, but it can get very deep. And I would rather it gets deep and be useful and helpful for you than to keep it shallow. My name is Paul Friedman. I founded the Marriage Foundation, and this particular topic is definitely going to require more than one. Excuse me for a second, I have to load that up. It's going to require more than just one video. So this is a multiple video. Be sure you go, this is part 1, be sure you go to part 2 so you can get the usefulness. And we're going to begin with learning the basics about marriage. That's number 1. Now, you may have been married for 20 years, but I guarantee you that you do not know even the basics of marriage. And so we're going to get into that. By the way, everything that you pick up from this channel is going to be valuable to you personally and to your marriage and to your happiness. So subscribe to the channel so you can learn and then apply what you learn. Now, getting back into this topic of the most important things about marriage. Everyone thinks they know how to be married, even when their marriage is falling apart. Isn't that an interesting thing? I know people who give marital advice who have the most terrible marriage imaginable, yet they think somehow they can help other people. And you know what? This includes Western psychologists. This includes virtually any marriage counselor that you go to. Proof of that is that they, as a group, have a higher divorce rate, substantially higher divorce rate than the average. And the average is about 51%. Think about that. Now, I knew about this personally, directly, because I was a divorce mediator. We're talking about over 20 years ago, but you know where all of my clients came from? Was from marriage counselors who failed their couples. That's it. They don't understand marriage. Why? And this is what we're getting into about the basics of marriage. They didn't understand even the basic reasons why people get married. Why did you get married? You know, when I used to meet with people, I used to ask them, why did you get married? I would look at each of the couple. In the beginning, I worked with couples, then I only worked with individuals. And I would say, why did you get married? And then I would say to them, listen, after you tell me your reasons, which are going to be good reasons, I'm going to tell you the real reason why you got married. And if your reason is better than my reason, and you're the one who's going to decide, you don't have to pay for this session. And my sessions were not cheap. We're talking about, in the 90s, $300 a session. So I'm going to offer you that same challenge. If your reason is better than mine, then you don't have to pay for this video. Yes, that's a joke. Of course you don't have to pay for this video. The reason why we get married that are above the sub-reasons, which include I want companionship, I found the ideal person who I wanted to spend my life with, I wanted to fit in the community, I wanted to have more of a social part, and all of those are good reasons. But didn't you actually get married so that you would be happier? Didn't you actually expect in the background of your mind that once you get married, you're going to be happy, and every day you're going to be happier than the day before? You should have. Because if you understand marriage, that basic expectation of marriage is realistic. There's a second part to this. It is actually why you knew that you would be happier. It's because in marriage, you can experience something that you cannot really experience anywhere else in the world. Unconditional love. We know about real unconditional love only from saints. People like Dr. Martin Luther King, Mahatma Gandhi, Jesus, Moses. I mean, look at the story about Abraham, where he was ready to sacrifice his son to please God. Unconditional love. It's uncommon in our world, yet when you get married, you're creating a whole new world that just you and your spouse are in, where you can practice learning how to love unconditionally. So this is at the center. This is at the core of marriage. This is the foundation of marriage. And this is what, if you know this, then you can plan around it. Because from this, think of a bulb. If you plant a bulb, it sprouts leaves, it sprouts eventually a beautiful flower. This is what you're supposed to focus everything upon. Everything that you do in a marriage should be based on this foundational principle of happiness / unconditional love. You could call it marital love if you'd like. This is another area where the therapists get it completely wrong, literally wrong. Literally, they feed us disinformation in this area by describing love as an emotion. It's not just an emotion. Sure, you can call it that, but it's a misnomer. Love is the one thing that all of us are seeking to experience. We gravitate towards it. We yearn for it. We swim in it when we have it, and you should have that in your marriage. So that's the basic of the basics of marriage. But like I told you, I was going to go deeper. But you have to have this. This is your guiding principle, you might say, where everything comes from it and it guides all of your actions. And here's where we get into another part of marriage basics that's so important. When you got your license, the first thing that you had to do was learn all about how to drive, the rules of the road, how an engine works a little bit, what does what in a car that you're going to drive. You had to learn enough about it, more than just get in the car and drive safely. Sure, get in the car and drive safely. But what does that mean? It's so high level, get in the car and drive safely, that without an understanding of things like what alcohol does to impair your judgment, to what ice will do to a road, to screw up every technique you've ever learned, to what all the signs mean. I mean, it's second nature to you now. Who doesn't know that a light turning red means to stop? We all know that. And we know why. But in marriage, we don't know enough about marriage. We never learned it. Now, I'm not blaming the people who were supposed to teach us about marriage, because they don't know either. We live in an evolving society, and unfortunately the ideals of marriage are not even understood. What I talked about before. The bottom line driving principles of love and happiness are not noted by anyone. They don't know. If they were noted, if these were seen as the driving principles, then you can extrapolate the rules of the road, you might say. Those are also the second level of the basics of marriage. There's one more level, which is very important, especially in this day and age where there's confusion around identities as genders and a drive, somehow this insane drive to neutralize the differences between genders. It's insane because the gender is reflective of biology, the biology of your body, which is uniquely male or uniquely female. It's different if you're a male. It's different if you're a female. And this is imperative that you understand that these differences have so much to do with your behavior. Because we have a mind, you're not the mind, you have a mind. And you're supposed to use your mind. You are a soul. You have a mind, you have a body, and you use the mind to protect your body. You use the mind to protect your mind. But because you have said, I have free will, it's up to me what I do, doesn't mean you're controlling your mind. And when you don't control your mind is controlled by your habits, habits of thought, habits of reactions. But you know what's hidden? Which is hidden in clear sight, is your body's impact on your mind. And your body impacts your mind based on its gender. Typically, a woman's body is not as powerful as a man's body. So where a man's body is telling the mind of a man, defend, protect, destroy, kill. Let's use this anger to push through. A woman's body is not as strong. I'm just giving you an example. So a woman's body is telling her mind, danger, same thing that's triggering the male's mind, but it's saying, talk, negotiate, see if you could work through it, see if you could win them over. It's a different impact based on the gender. And so you need to learn all of this, not just a little bit. You don't want to talk about the differences between men and women. You want to learn about how it impacts. So this is number 2. So you have number 1, which is to learn the basics about marriage, and 2, which you could wrap in this, is you need to learn about men and you need to learn about women. And if you're a woman, you still need to learn about women so you understand what's going on. The current trend now is interesting. I don't want to be negative. Respect your emotions. I laugh because I know you're not supposed to respect your emotions any more than you respect your sweat after you have been jogging for 30 minutes. Why? It's merely an emotion. But these psychotherapists have no idea. They don't understand how the mind works. And so they come up with these crazy ideas. Learn how it works. Learn these things. So going back, learn the basics about marriage is number one of the 5 important things. Number 2 is learn about men and learn about women, because you need to understand the mind. You have to understand it. You have to put it under your control. So that's it for the first part. Now we're going to get into the second part in another video. So follow the link below and subscribe to this channel and like this video and leave a comment if you will. My name is Paul Friedman. Again, thank you for joining me. I truly hope that your marriage will be off the charts. If you follow what I have discovered, there's no chance it won't be. Take care and blessings.